Look, up on TV. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman and Lois back for a second season. First of all, I'm under the weather, so apologies in advance. There may not be a Nailsin show this Saturday or a Nailsin Sunday Comics because not feeling so good. Also, my internet service has been under the weather as well. In fact, it was dead for 2 days. So that explains another reason why there's a lack of videos, and I didn't have time to do my usual work for that type of stuff. So anyway, that's the explanations for that, and a bit of a, I guess, channel update. So it took a while because I had no service, so I couldn't watch the show, and then when it got back, I watched it on the app. And so the first episode, What Lies Beneath? Well, it's Doomsday. It's I think that's pretty obvious, but that's the superhero part of it. The rest of it is, if there's a weakness, it's the CW soap opera elements that are there. However, Superman and Lois managed to do that much better than the other shows. Now, the other shows, some of them might have started out that good, but when it becomes overly dependent on it because they just can't afford to do an actual superhero show, then it becomes a problem and it becomes repetitive and dooms the show. Check out The Flash. That doomed it far more than any woke elements. Was there any woke element seeping in? Well, there is this plot thread about Superman not giving his unquestioning loyalty to the U.S. military. So and there's a scene where he saves a North Korean submarine. They're in trouble. They're going to die. So he just lifts the submarine out of the water and, and says, and there you go, you're safe, and flies away. Of course, I guess they don't get the bends. I mean, I don't know how deep they were. Maybe being in the submarine, so I don't know. Anyway, so the military guy that took over from Sam Lane, as he retired, and he says, couldn't you have given us the submarine so we could look at it, and that type of stuff. These type of storylines are not that new. I mean, I realize in the current era, you immediately assume that that's what it could be, and that's always going to be a problem going forward, thanks to the damage that the cult of woke has done to entertainment, among other things. And but you can go back to quite a few stories, and what keeps coming to mind is actually Captain America. They did this thing in the late 80s where the U.S. government was expecting Cap to start obeying orders from him again, and he was like, no, I'm a free agent and all that. It's just not where you wear that uniform. So he gave up the name and the look of his he gave up the costume. He stripped naked right there in front of him. And then that's what introduced the John Walker character, who eventually becomes U.S. agent, and so on and so forth. And Captain America became the captain for a while and that sort of thing. And then you can go back in the 70s when he got disillusioned over Nixon and all that stuff, and he quit being Captain America because he didn't believe in America anymore, and he became nomad, and that sort of thing. So it's kind of old, but the significance of it is that Captain America and Superman, at least personality-wise, are very similar characters. Certainly not power-wise, but their attitude. They're both, the Boy Scout type guys for their respective comic book universes. So it's not new. It has been dealt with, and they deal with it in more credible reasons here. So Superman saved a bunch of lives, and that's all he was interested in. Whereas the military guys, yeah, but we could have gotten some information. Now, yeah, they could have. I mean, how much would you get from a North Korean submarine? But what have you? Chinese submarine would be far more better to get a hold of. But they weren't going to mess with the Chinese in entertainment, so North Korea gets it. But that's the deal, that Superman wants to remain a free agent. He's not there to take orders. He would offer his help and all that like he did. But that's basically the argument there. And so they're already creating a new plot where the new guy is not as good as Sam Lane was. And there's these mysterious earthquakes. Gee, I wonder what it could be. Well, it's Doomsday coming from the center of the earth, apparently. And Superman runs into two other super people. Well, it turns out there are people that have been recruited by this. I forget the guy's name. The new, you know, the DOD or whatever general that runs that. And Superman's like, "Hey, what's the deal?" And they're wearing my emblem. And he's, "Yeah, well, we want people to know we're the good guys." So I guess Superman never bothered to get the trademark to his S, so he can't use it. So, as to who these people are they? How did they get the powers? Do they have Kryptonian powers? Are they Kryptonian? What, I don't know. There's no explanation for it. He just says they're gifted people. So there are other people that have superpowers, which I still don't know if they're actually clarified this is the same CW universe that the Flash exists in and all that sort of thing. I guess because John Diggle showed up, so I guess that establishes it. So there's super people all around, so it's not unusual that there might be some other meta-humans that they would recruit that might have similar powers, or they did some weird experiments and that sort of thing. And, well, maybe that's what it is. But what have you, there they are. We don't get to do much. They're just there. They don't get to interact with them or anything. They just follow orders, and that's that. Superman's concerned, but, well, you didn't want to be involved, so I guess that's the deal. So the rest of the show is, of course, the romance for Jordan and Jonathan. They both still like girls for now. Jonathan gets caught with his girlfriend. Lois is all upset, but of course Lois is certainly concerned, as a parent should be. But at the same time, she's lashing out because she's all upset about the arrival of Natalie, which is how they ended last season. So, as you recall, in her universe, she miscarried a child. They were going to have a daughter, but the child died, and she was going to name the girl Natalie. Well, here comes alternate universe Natalie, who is the daughter of the other Lois Lane who died at the hands of an evil Superman, and all that storyline and stuff. And John Henry Irons is the father, and she managed to survive and find him and all that stuff. Well, so she's going to have her teenage girl I'm upset moment and all that stuff, which, granted, is credible within the narrative of the plot. It's just, what did she get irritating because she's lashing out at her father? And it's like, he just went through the same thing. And he's the one guy, you don't understand, Dad. Yes, he does. He just went through it. But the whole setup is she needs mommy. And there's this woman who is a reasonable facsimile thereof, but it's not really her mother. But they're both hurting by what each other means to one another for the people they've lost. So they come together at the end, and isn't that sweet? So meanwhile, Jordan and Sarah, it looks like there's some distance as Sarah's getting a little tired of his neediness, apparently, which wasn't really that much. I don't know. He's just trying to wow her and stuff. But, I don't know. I guess they're going to break up so that he can become interested in boys. I don't know. But anyway, but everything, for the most part, the narratives are credible within themselves. It's just a little much when you want to see more Superman action and that sort of thing. But Superman action is expensive. But they do have more money than most CW shows. Because it's really an HBO Max production. But anyway, Sarah's parents, Lana and what's his name? They're getting along and everything, and so they're not repeating the same problems. But he's getting a little jealous of this mayoral candidate that Lana is working for. So she's trying to say, "Don't worry about it, baby. It's fine," and all that. Although the scene that demonstrated where she's handling some questions he was getting and the candidate didn't know how to answer them, it's like, well, maybe Lana should be the candidate. But anyway, it probably will be. Who knows? So finally, yes, Superman's hearing things and he's not quite sure what it is. He's having some bad reaction to it sometimes. It's like a penetrating sound that kind of knocks him out for a bit. But of course, deep down below is Doomsday digging his way out. You only see his hand and everything, but it's got to be him. And I think I saw somewhere where they've already spoiled it. But, been sick, so I wasn't really paying attention. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And it's very reminiscent of the opening salvo to the old Death of Superman story that they did in the early 90s. So then I gotta wonder, are they going to do this? Is they going to kill off Superman for a while anyway, and then have other Supermen show up, do that whole storyline? But they kind of already did with the last plot, and that's another weakness here. I think they should have gone with an entirely different villain. Maybe Parasite or something like that. Somebody that you haven't seen in a while. Of course, I don't. Did they ever do a Parasite on Supergirl or anything? I dropped out. But something along those lines. Enough with the Kryptonian stuff, because it ends up being like the Flash, where he kept fighting other speedsters all the time. That becomes repetitive too. And it's not a good idea. So now you've got these two faux Kryptonians, I guess, that the military has. And here comes Doomsday, who's, a Kryptonian monster. And it's like, go retreading that again. And who knows, maybe Morgan Edge will show up again. His brother, which, as much as I liked the first season, I really did not like that idea that Morgan Edge was Superman's brother and all that stuff. That was stupid. Wish they hadn't done that. But overall, it was pretty good, and especially in this day and age, wow, what a breath of fresh air. So far, so good. I don't see anything here to tell me that, here we go. The first season was a bait and switch, and now we're going to get it. There wasn't so much of any, certainly not any woke elements, other than, I'm a superhero for the world, not just America, that type of thing. But, that's not too much of a woke ordeal. So maybe it'll be another okay and maybe even good season. But of course, we'll have to wonder. And meantime, CW is up in the air. They're supposed to sell it. Who knows where that goes? It could just be that Superman just goes to HBO Max and that's that, which would be fine with me. But we'll have to see. So there we are. What lies beneath? Well, it's Doomsday there. That answers that question. And Superman is back for another season. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.